Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Be Positive, Stay Positive podcast. My name is Nat, and I'm here for you. I am here for you to cheer you up and hopefully help you find those keys to the door that will unlock your happiness. Now, if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that every once in a while I don't show up for a couple of weeks because I'm either busy with the family on vacation or doing something crazy in the studio. Well, this time I'm doing something crazy in the studio. I'm reconfiguring my entire studio so I can start doing my podcast in video format, and it will be available on YouTube very, very soon. And that's where you'll be able to catch the podcasts. I might be uploading the videos to all the social platforms or the podcasting like iHeart and Spotify and all those, but I haven't explored that yet. But I will be going over to YouTube and putting my podcast there, and the live podcast will be coming up to talk about it probably this weekend or maybe next week. It'll be before the end of the month for sure, so be on the lookout for that. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show. Glad you found it. Hope you grabbed your copy of the book today. You can't get it on Amazon right now. They're sold out. They're out of my book. So if you'd like to get a copy, feel free to grab a copy from my website, bepositivepodcast.com. And as always, if you've got something to talk about, you can hit me up on the text line, 304-506-3332. I love to hear from you and catch up and see what everybody's doing. What's going on this summer? You going on vacation? Send me a picture where you're at. And if anybody's in Egypt, I want to see a picture of the pyramids. Not just one you just grab from Google, an actual photo of you in front of the pyramids. Because someday I want to go there. All right, what am I going to talk about today? I'm not going to promote anything else. I'm done promoting stuff. I want to talk about wisdom. Wisdom, oh my gosh. And you know what the worst part about wisdom is it takes us so long to become wise. You have to be older to be wiser. And why is that? Because wisdom comes with experience, right? And you don't get experience without being older. When you're a kid, you do dumb stuff and you're not very wise, and you don't have any wisdom or common sense even. But the older you get, the better your common sense and wisdom becomes. Now, I think that is I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but I think we all have the wisdom inside of us right now anyway, even when you're born. But we just choose to forget it because when we come here from our cosmic existence, so to speak, when we are incarnated into this physical being, we forget where we came from and forget all the knowledge that we have inside of us. Because, we only use 10% of our brains, so we have all 90% just sitting there waiting to be used. And I think a lot of that contains all the wisdom of the universe. All the knowledge of the universe is inside of us. It's in our DNA. It's in our cells, because we are one with the universe. We're all come from energy. We're just manifesting in a different form, and that form doesn't know where we came from. And when you start getting older and wiser and start seeing things differently, you start growing up, so to speak. They call it growing up. I don't call it that. I call it just getting smarter. But the older you get, the wiser you get. Now, why can't we become wiser younger? Well, I think it's because we don't know about awakening, about where we come from. We don't learn about the existence of energy and how we are all energy until we are older. And a lot of us will never learn that. And a lot of people will never be wise. A lot of people will keep doing the same thing over and over, hoping for a different outcome. That doesn't happen. It's when you start to make changes, you start to do things differently, you start to think differently, and you start to actually realize that your thoughts are creating your life, and that nothing is happening in the world without your thoughts. Nothing in your world happens without you thinking about it or acting on it. And I'm sure you felt that way on a Saturday or Sunday when you got nothing to do and you're sitting on the couch eating chips, watching sports, and falling asleep in the recliner. Nothing is happening. But We choose to come here to experience this physical manifestation of our consciousness. And I think I've said this for many, many years, that we came here to learn how to love. And I've said that since I was a little kid, before I even knew what love was. And it's just odd that I would think that and not even realize how to start doing that until I've got much older. So the older that you get, the more you realize what's important. And that changes as you get older. The things that are important to you change the older you get, because you're having more experiences, you're becoming more wise, and the closer you get to the end of your physical existence, the more things, the less the little things matter. The big things that matter are not what that used to matter to you. Does that make sense? Didn't sound like it did, but I hope you get it. But the things that used to piss you off and bother you and you used to worry about, when you get on the other side of your existence, towards less years alive than you are alive, and they start winding down, you start thinking, well, what's more important? And that's when you realize the things that are more important are your family, your health, your happiness, the things that really matter. I have a wide age group demographic that listens to this show, anywhere from teenagers to 70, 80-year-old people that listen to this show. And if you're really young, some of the things I say won't make sense to you. But if you're really old, some of the other things I say don't make sense to you. So maybe my podcast doesn't make any sense. I'm just having fun. But when you're young, you start to you think about the immediate future. What's going to happen tomorrow? What am I doing this weekend? You don't really worry about next year until you start getting older. And the older you get, the more you start thinking about, well, I don't have a whole lot of time left to do the things I want to do. And if you're still working that same job and still doing the same thing and still getting stuck in a rut and not happy with where you're at, and you're noticing that, well, then it's time to change. Because when you're younger, you don't really notice it so much, because I got my whole life ahead of me. I got 50, 70 years ahead of me, whatever. The older you get, you go, wow, I got 20, 15, 10 years left or whatever. We don't know how long we have. You might have 5 minutes. And so when you start to realize and start to think about how your life is maybe not what you want it to be, maybe you're still doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome, and your life hasn't changed, and you're just like, I can't believe it, and I wish it would change. I wish something different would happen. You have to realize that it's not going to change unless you change. And you don't really think about that until you get older, because you start to get wise. You get that wisdom. And I don't think that we gain wisdom. I really don't think that we gain wisdom when we get older. I think that we uncover it. I think we become aware of what's always been inside of us. And we start using different parts of our brain the older we get, and start realizing how much potential we actually have. And when you start to act on that thought, and you start to say, I could do anything I want, and you actually do it. Because if you think about it, you can literally do whatever you want to do. Now, I know some of you are saying, no, I can't. I have to pay bills. I have to work. I have to do this. No, you choose to do it. No matter what you say, you choose to pay your bills. You choose to have that job, to make that money, to pay for that house, pay for that car, to pay for those clothes. You choose to overeat. You choose to drink too much. You choose to be with that person. There's nobody else that's forcing you to do it. Because when you take action on your thoughts, you actually act on them, things begin to change. And your life begins to change. And then as those things change because of your actions, your wisdom grows or opens up, so to speak. You awaken to your inner wisdom. and your inner strength and your inner knowledge that's in there. We just haven't opened that door yet. So hopefully this podcast will give you those keys to the door that will unlock your happiness. Now, you like the way I brought that right back around to the beginning? How about that, huh? That was pretty slick. Oh, man. All right. Well, as you can tell, this is a mobile podcast. But I'm looking forward to doing the video version of my podcast and taking this podcast to the next step. And you guys be able to see me, which in all its frightening reality. You know, now I have to look good, too, and on camera. So I've done quite a few tests. I probably shot 100 videos already trying to get the sound right and the video right and everything right. And it's not easy. It's not working the way I would like it to work. But I'm getting there, and you should be able to watch me do my show shortly. So beat the rush and head on over to YouTube right now and to my YouTube channel. I don't know if there'll be a link in this description, but one of the other podcasts has the link in it to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss the upcoming podcast, because I probably won't be putting out a lot of podcasts on iHeart and Spotify and all that stuff in the future. It's all probably going to be going to YouTube. We'll see how it works. See how much work it's going to be to do both. But need to do something different, and I'm making a change. So the reconfiguring that has given me headaches for the past couple weeks, my studio, I think, is coming to an end. Last night was a good test run of some video and audio, and I'm hoping that it will work. Oh boy. And that's just so I can record the videos, and we'll see how the live stream goes. That's going to be a whole nother ball of wax. So anyway, I don't have a team, don't have a crew, don't have a staff, don't have the money to hire them. So if you want to continue to listen to the podcast, every time I do it, right when it happens, go to YouTube and subscribe today. And you'll be able to keep getting your positivity. And, we can still connect. So that's it. That's all I got to say. I'm out of words. My name is Nat. This has been the Be Positive, Stay Positive podcast. I think we could all do a little bit better. I'll talk to you later.